Coming up on this week's edition of Her Motorcycle Adventures.
I'm in paradise. Hi folks, well, I am truly in paradise. Hello and welcome to this week's video. I am starting today's journey at the top, well, near the top anyway, of the east coast of Tasmania at the gorgeous Bay of Fires. Now this beach here that I'm standing on is what's known as the Gardens. I camped a few kilometres up the road that way at the Bay of Fires campground, and it was absolutely beautiful. A little bit busy, but you know, you can't have everything. You can't have everything, can you? So today I'm going to get on the bike and I'm going to head south, and I've got a lot to pack into this video. We're going to be seeing little coastal towns, beautiful beaches, peaks, you know, of the most beautiful views you could imagine. Well, I'm hoping so. That's what the photos on Google say anyway. So let's hope it lives up to all the hype. And there's so much to do on this coast, so I'm going to try and pack it all into this video. I did promise you a doozy, and a doozy I want to deliver. So hang on to your hats and get on the bike and let's do it.
This place is pretty fancy, hey? I could park myself on this beach for a week. Here's a little trivia you may not know. Most people assume that the Bay of Fires was named because of the deep red colour of the rocks. In actual fact, it was named by Captain Tobias Freycinet, who passed by this area in 1773. He saw the fires on the coastline that had been lit by the local Aboriginal population, and the name stuck, Bay of Fires. Who's Captain Tobias Freycinet, you may ask? Apart from accompanying Captain James Cook, his claim to fame is being one of the first people in the world to circumnavigate the planet in both directions. This, my friends, is the wonderful region of St. Helens. It's a beautiful little town that's built on fishing. It has everything you'd ever want. Well, if everything you want is either beautiful or contains fish. And I'm like, dang it, this place is absolutely beautiful. Now, it takes a lot to sway me to be absolutely wowed by a place, especially if it's on the tourist trail, because your girl here doesn't like being on the tourist trail because, well, quite frankly, it's really not me. I like my seclusion.
But when I found out that, well, it's, you know, not too busy here and I can actually camp near the beach, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna maybe feature this in a video in and of itself. And wow, here we are, guys. So I've got my food cooking, had my favorite bourbon, and you're about to see why I wanted to actually feature this place. It is pretty damn cool. Now, so here's my camp setup, and as you can see over the bushes there, yeah, that's right, it's the ocean. That's how close I am. So I'll just come out a bit further. Literally, this is my campsite. Yeah, there's actually a ballot system in order for you to be able to camp here over summer. Yeah, that's how popular it is. So, like, there's hardly anyone here. Wimps, I say, wimps. oh, it's a little bit cold. Oh dear. Oh, wow. Hello. This is when exactly you should be doing it, when no one else is here, because you get to enjoy. Geez, I nearly tripped over. I've only had 2 bourbons too. Oh. Look, you can see why your girl decided to feature this amazing place in her video for this week. And I actually do think it is a really good place if you're touring around Tassie on your motorcycle. You can camp here right by the beach, just over summer. Good luck to you. So anywho, I decided to feature it, and you'll see why with the footage I've got coming, why I decided to do that. Okay, let's get into it.
It's one hell of a view, huh? I've spent the past few evenings strolling here alone, pondering my place in the universe. There's something really centering about the sound of crashing waves, accompanied by a world-class sunset. Don't let anyone kid you. This walk to the Wineglass Bay lookout is, well, a little bit challenging. There's 2 things here that'll take your breath away. Firstly, the amazing scenery. Secondly, the never-ending steps. Hey, wasn't there a song named Take Your Breath Away? Anywho, the path is littered with breathless people, all trying really hard to pretend that they're just actually stopped to admire the scenery. We know otherwise. It's hard-ish, yes, but oh my God, it is worth it, as you'll soon see.
So at this stage, I had puffed and panted my way up to the lookout to see the absolutely spectacular Wineglass Bay. But the decision I had next was I going to descend the 1,000-odd steps, it was about a 35-minute walk to go, to actually go down to Wineglass Bay, because as they say, what goes down, well, technically it's not meant to go back up, but in this case, I was going to have to come back up. So what did I do? Well, your girl doesn't wimp out, and it's a great beach, and I'm like, well, it's 19 degrees. Your girl might want to go for a swim. So onward I trekked. beach here in Wineglass Bay on the east coast of Tassie. This beach is constantly ranked as one of the top 10 beaches in the world. I totally get it. Look at this. I'm in paradise. The reason this beach is ranked in the top 10, I believe, is because it's fairly secluded. Like, I went up to the lookout before and that was about, took me about 35 minutes to get there. And from there it took me about another half an hour or so to get down to this beach. Now, I'm not going to walk back up to the lookout and then down. I'm actually going to take the 3.5 hour walk along round the other side so that I can get more footage for you. But look at the water, it is so clear. And the colour of it is just amazing. I think you can see why this beach constantly gets ranked in the world's top 10. By the time I trekked about, it was 45 minutes through to a beach that is called Hazard Beach. And I'm like, oh no, the tide's coming in. Oh, hell no. I better get walking real fast through this beach to join the walk on the other side. I'm like, I ain't going back that way. By that stage, it would have taken me much further to go back the way I'd come. So I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder they call this beach Hazard Beach. I found out why. Anyway, I did get some beautiful footage. Thankfully, I didn't get washed away.
Okay, I've had a little fun at the expense of Hazard's Beach. It's not half as bad as I've made out. The reality is that on most days it's a better option than Wineglass Bay. It doesn't suffer from the crowds that the more famous Wineglass Bay gets, and generally, but not today, it's the better option for children and those seeking a little peace and solitude. Okay, while we walk together and take in this magnificent scenery, let me tell you about how Wineglass Bay got its name. It's not half as exciting as the romantic imagery, but I owe it to tell you the truth. At least I think I do. My mum is not going to like me for this because she told me, don't burst everyone's bubble. The reality is that Wineglass Bay owes its name to the practice of whaling. Though whaling has long been stopped in Australia, years ago it was a thriving industry. Locals at the time would stand at the lookout that we just visited and commented that the bay looked like a wine glass being filled as the whales spilled their blood. Yuck. Well, there goes the romance out the window. Story of my life. You probably get why it's the story of my life. I'm a bit of a buzzkill. Okay, let's continue on this little journey. What a rewarding walk this has been so far. It's been a little bit undulating in places, but nothing that most people couldn't handle. I think I've been trekking all up for about 3.5 hours or so. So yeah, someone's got their exercise on today, but has it been absolutely worth it? It's absolutely spectacular. Well, my sense of direction has me thinking I'm northbound to the car park. Probably got another 40 minutes or so, but yeah, this is just spectacular. I'll get some more shots.
Well, folks, this has been quite a walk. It's been an epic hike. I've got to admit, the lactic acid is building up in my calves and I'm feeling it, I can tell you. I mean, I'm moderately fit-ish, but is it worth it? Absolutely. I mean, I haven't got far to go. I can see Freycinet over there, so I'd say I've got another half an hour, but totally worth it. By the time I get back to my motorbike, I think I'll be crawling. I think, what have I done, like 5.5, 6 hours of hiking today? So yeah, not a short little stroll in the park, that is for sure, but wow. Guys, I can't even say anything that will properly articulate this view. I feel like I'm on top of the world though. That is absolutely worth it. Well, I did make it back from that hike alive, and I've got to say it was absolutely spectacular. It was 11 kilometers of incredibly undulating, steep, rocky walk that I have done in a long time, and I've got to admit I was so dang happy to get back to my bike. I think I might have even given it a bit of a kiss. I was that happy to see it. Anyway, I made it and it was absolutely spectacular. It was so well worth doing that hike.
Guess what I did the next day? I got right up and continued walking on to the next expedition, right? Wrong! I was so darn sore, I didn't want to walk anywhere. This body of mine just isn't used to 25,000 steps a day. Well, not yet. However, today, as you can see, we are visiting Sleepy Bay. Sleepy Bay, like me, is a conundrum. It's a total contradiction. It breaks all the rules. You see, Sleepy Bay isn't really known for being sleepy. It's rather rough and violent more often than enough, but I was fortunate to see it in pristine perfection. It's quite beautiful, isn't it? And no trip to the Freycinet Peninsula would be complete without a quick ride to the Cape Torvill Lighthouse. Just a word from the wise. Just watch out for the motorhomes. They seem to be blind to us motorcyclists. I swear they must drive with blindfolds on. Built in the 1970s by blasting into the granite headland, the Lighthouse provides an ideal platform to admire all that is Freycinet and to recap on a memorable expedition. Well, that's unless you did the 11 kilometres like me and probably still have sore calves. This has been a wonderful journey that's really sparked a desire in me to set out and see the beauty that this planet has to offer. I have a feeling I have a few 100,000 kilometres of riding ahead of me, but not today. If you'll excuse me, I've booked a spa room.
Hey folks, and thank you for joining me on this edition of Her Motorcycle Adventures. As you can see, why I wanted to feature this incredible place on the east coast of Tasmania. But next week I'll be back on the bike and touring more of the east coast. Join me then and have an awesome week. See you soon.